Hey, welcome to my channel. This video is a VOD review I did with one of my students. If you would like to get a VOD review for free, just go into the description of this video so we can get one started. Any rank, any role. I would love to help. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Enjoy the show. Let's first go to what I feel like we can do with our support item. So, you know how our support item gives us that minion auto, where it basically kills a minion on, I don't know the exact HP, but
it's like 25 kinda-ish for range and 50 for melee, I think.
Yeah, I don't really remember exactly how big the execute is, but we can actually, just from our support item, we can actually basically control how fast or slow we can hit level 2 or level 3. And one way is by just not using it on the first wave. We don't need to really use it on the first wave at all. You're gonna see that you're gonna start already hitting the wave with your auto, but that's not like, you know, terrible. It's just better if we do it on the second wave, because that's where we control hitting level 2 really quickly, and we can actually surprise the enemy by doing it. But you guys still got a really good level 2. I'm not saying that like you guys did terrible, but it's just trying to squeeze the most out of what you can get. And with these minion autos, we can really, you have basically all control on hitting level 2 or hitting level 3 because you have those autos. Does that make sense?
Yes, it actually does a lot. Do you think we're over pushing, or is it just like a level control thingy?
It's just a level control thing.
Okay.
We can do so much more when we have this minion auto. Let's just say, in a scenario, this minion is the next minion we need to take out in order to hit level 2. Since we have the execute, both you and Jin can step up even further, and you just take care of the auto and hit level 2 and have a better aggressive level 2. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
And it's
That
also,
totally
we
makes
can
sense.
do bait strats as well, where Jin steps up and we can just hit this minion and bam, the level 2 is hit and the fight is won basically. And that's the same thing with level 3. You can do that on the level 3 wave. Next, I want to talk about your pinks. Where do you generally place your pinks in the jungle? Or just like your pinks in general?
When I'm laning, usually I like to have my pink on Thrivish, like here, like to my side, a little bit to, like towards the river, so I can see a little bit more of the river.
Okay, so here.
If I have control of the lane, like in the Pitzel brush could be fine. Usually move it a little upwards, like towards the middle of the river, like outside Dragon Pit, if we're gonna take Dragon, like over there. Yeah, that's about it. Like sometimes it will go to like towards the enemy blue if I have control of that area.
Yeah.
Or that.
Well, I just want to talk to you about mostly this ward, because these wards are really good. Like, they're not terrible. This ward is really good because then it can stop anybody from ganking us from this direction, and it helps us, helps our jungler come and gank us. This ward is okay. We just need control of the wave. This ward is also kind of okay. It just depends on, yes, if we're taking dragon. But this ward is like, this ward's god tier. This is a god tier ward right here. This ward helps so much in just trying to give us vision of what is happening around our lane. I would say this is probably the best ward too, because it's easily, these wards are easily taken by the enemy very easily, but this one is a little bit harder to get because they don't really recognize this as a ward people should, or this bush isn't a place that most people ward, because they think they usually go for this or this. But you took a pink ward, you put down a pink ward, and it kind of just did nothing for you. And I feel like you can definitely think about where you should place your peaks a little bit better, because you just come towards this dragon, it's already pinked, and you pink it again, and you're already...
I didn't see the pink. It's kind of funny because I saw it when I was walking back, and I'm like, oh, guess I have another pink now.
Yeah, but we're already walking in this general direction, and you already I think eat this bush to see if there's anyone in it. No, you almost walked in it, but you might as well just take the extra trip, you know? Just a little extra trip and go for it, you know? I do have the question on, you don't really roam in this game at all. You actually don't roam once.
Not this game. It's that I was a little iffy about this because I didn't roam that much in this game. I roam a lot more when I'm playing Rakan. or something else if I'm playing LUTs with someone else. This is a little flaw I have when I play with Sime. Uh, I'm just very comfortable playing with him and I'm really confident in our lane. So I just tend to stick with him a lot.
Alright, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You guys play a lot of games together, and you can definitely accomplish lane pretty well. You guys did really good in lane, I feel like. But that comes with its own issues of when we play so much games with each other, we start to build bad habits that we don't know about, and I think one of your bad habits is just not roaming. You took no opportunities to go for roams, or even try to go get more vision that probably could have helped you in the future. You would usually just stay in lane and help the Jhin push in a wave and then maybe take turret platings, and we're gonna actually look at that. It's not from here, but it's also like this is a good roam timer. I thought this was it, but this is a good roam timer that you can take, where you guys are just poking them under lane. We can just hop around here and maybe get a ward here, or even go further if we really want to, because this wave is automatically bouncing back to us, and Jhin should just play safe and just not do anything. We can just have some free time here, but our free time is just poking the lane. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is gonna sound kind of an excuse, but it's like I see that when I see this, my head is like, if I was gonna roam, I would stay till he goes, because this is a bad habit that I've noticed. Like, he tends to stay for one more wave, and it's gonna him kill that a little bit. So I just tend to stay, and then whenever we both back, then I go from the roam from base.
Well, you're helping him build his bad habit. You should stop him from doing that. It's a very bad habit. Just talk to him and just say like, hey, I'm just gonna say this. You gotta stop doing that. You gotta back off, so I can go do more things around the map. Cause I can't stay here all the time and protect you. You know.
That's fair.
Because you got your own job, you know? You both have a job, and your job is to not only support this guy, but also support everybody on your team by creating vision and also destroying vision. And also just supporting everyone with their own plays if you ever play with them. But you generally didn't this game. You didn't generally play with anybody except your ADC, which is understandable because you play with him so much. But let's not forget that we have a full team that is all there just trying to help us win, you know? I already talked about it, where you push in a wave, and rather than going for a roam, you have two options here. You can either back and roam, or you can just go get some vision in the top side, in the bot side and up here, but all you did was help Jhin take turret platings. We can just take that one turret plating, not even help him take it. We can just walk into his jungle, because we can feel more safe knowing that we have an Aurelion Soul, and also we can. These guys are dead, you know. These guys are dead, so we can actually have more safety net by just walking into it, or we can just go back and roam, because Jhin just needs to stay safe for the next minute or two, because all we're going to do is probably, I don't know, go top side or go mid. Probably go mid because Jag's coming up. But we can go mid, wait for them to push in the wave, and then go back bot to help our Jhin push it out again. But I just feel like staying here is just not the best thing that we can do. You both are getting gold, but let's just not share the gold and just give it all to Jhin.
Okay,
and also we can accomplish more things while he's taking the tower, you know? Is there any questions about that?
What pathing would you take in the jungle? Like, if you went into the blue side, where would you go on? What would you do?
At least in this scenario, let me turn it on blue, because I don't want to know where they are. I already saw where they technically were, but I'm not going to take any of that into account. Let me get rid of this line on my screen. I mean, I would just take a breezy wow, nothing crazy, you know. Don't go crazy into their jungle, but at least take a breezy one where if we walk this way, we can get a ward here, and then also we can maybe get a ward. I would just place it here though, but these wards are nice, and then we can either stay here and maybe go for, you know, a fight,
right?
Because we can still roam. This is still a roam, you know. We can still do this roam. But, or we can just take a back and then reset and then go back into our mid lane, or back to bot lane. I do want to talk about how often you check your map and I don't know how loud your pings are, but I would bump that to 100%. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I always forget that people ping me, or pinging is not loud enough for me. But we're gonna see at 10:05. We're just not paying attention to in these games, in these types of games. Sometimes we have really good mid laners that have really good roam opportunities, like Ryze. Ryze can just pop into your lane like really easily because of his ult. So as soon as Ryze goes missing on the map, that's already danger, because this guy can teleport like halfway across the map. So in context where we're versing a really good roamer that is in the mid lane like Ryze, I would say Aurelion Sol is pretty good at it as well. But any of those champions that have some type of way to get into our lane really quickly, like Talia ult, or Ryze ult, or Galio ult, stuff like that, that is like things we need to pay attention to, because we need to know when they go missing, like almost immediately, because that's what gets us killed mostly. And we're gonna see in this that you also miss that the Viego was here. Yeah, you guys did not, we're just not checking your map. And then you're gonna see, as soon as this Ryze goes missing, even if you just look at him, he's gonna start posturing immediately to you guys. And you guys you just needed to back off after you killed this guy. I mean, I guess you kind of did, but it was already over at this point, because we missed the Viego and we missed the Ryze. But does that make sense?
Yeah, it's what I mean. I didn't see a Viego till now. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's also with just the champions that are good roamers like Ryze. It happens twice in this game, where Ryze just comes and kill us because of his ult, and we just aren't paying attention to our pings, or we're not paying attention to the map.
I do remember that very vividly. Really frustrating.
Yeah. So because it's gonna happen again here, where you guys are just starting to push out of your lane. Ryze goes missing in the bot lane immediately here, and then pings start getting shot over here, and then you guys just die because you just didn't know. You just wasn't looking at your map, or I don't know. You guys just wanted to fight, but just check your map more. I feel like that'll help a lot. Let's talk about warding, because I feel like your wards are failing you, and I don't know if you're noticing that or not. Do you notice that your wards aren't helping you as much as you think they should?
I don't know about that one. I know I always get such good vision scores. I thought I was doing alright.
Your vision score is not bad, but I feel like you can get way better wards. So in this sequence, we have you going topside to ward the Baron. Cool. We're also clearing vision. Awesome. We're doing our job. Now, after this, we just ward this, and then we're gone. That's all we did. And now that's the only ward to be placed is a Baron pit. But think about this. There's so much more we could have done because of this. Now, I want you to see this when you're playing games where we can actually walk with a laner while not walking right next to them, and they can still support us. You can see while we're going towards this Baron, Jhin is pushing top here. Jhin is pushing top here. And if we just follow him towards the top side, we can get even more wards for him and actually support him. But this Baron ward doesn't really do any justice for him. This doesn't help him at all, because he has a lot of choke points up here that is going to stop him from knowing if people are there. And he actually does die because of this. He pushes in and he dies because he doesn't have vision, and you didn't really support him with that. But you can see how when we walk this way, he can technically come to us and support us and have time to do that. And same thing with the Kha'Zix. So yes, we don't want to walk into places where our team is not, because that will get us killed. But if we do this type of walking, our team can still support us, unless we get, like, you know, 5-man jumped. But that is less likely to happen, because that ward, it just ward more around objectives. We can even get this ward over the wall if we just go up towards this close wall and ward right here. We can still get that ward, and we can also get a ward here. And that ward is still really good. These wards are really good, but this one ward just doesn't do anything. You know, it just tells us if they're on Baron. But we can place more, you know? I think I'm gonna first talk to you about Baron. So, do you know how Baron works? Like, what kind
I
of
mean,
buffs?
it gives you like, oh, I don't remember actually. I think it gives you like adaptive force or something, and then it makes the minions bigger. Whoa.
So it makes your minions really strong. It gives you the empowered, so it gives your minions attack damage and armor and magic resist. And the cannon minions become extremely strong and get more range, but you get some AP or some AD depending on what you're building. And then you also get an empowered recall. Now, two of those things are automatically always used. Your empowered recall and your AP and AD are always being used. But the one thing that people always forget to use is the minions. And you guys didn't really do a great Baron push. And do you know how to get the best out of Baron?
I'm looking at it at a game where we could send Mundo to side lane and just do like a 1v1 really funny stuff thing going out in the map.
Yeah, that's the best we can do with a Baron. We can push all waves at the same time and basically collapse on them and surround them, and they can't do anything about it. We just have to play extra safe with it. You're gonna see once you guys take this Baron. But now that we have it, we should use it in a way where we can push all 3 lanes. But you're going to see that we are kind of doing that at the beginning. We're going to see that some people are going to be pushing bot, and I think you go mid. But you see how all of you are grouping bot, and this is just like 1 minion wave is so much easier to clear than 3. And it's already like really bad. It's not like the best we can do again. You're going to come mid so you can stop the mid push. That's perfectly fine. And now you can push mid. Like, this type of sequence would be okay. If we even if we have 2 minion waves pushing in, I'd be happy. But just 1 minion wave is already like really bad. And you can see that they already sacrificed that wave because we didn't have mid lane push. And that's like, you can't really push Baron in different timings. You can see how this minion wave is going to arrive later than this minion wave. And this will be a bad type of fight. They should wait for the next minion wave. You guys want to kind of like group together on the same wave pushing in so you can all attack at the same time, you know? You can see how once you guys group, your Baron is just being used for no reason. We're not doing anything here with our Baron. And I think you can see how Muno is actually pushing bot, which is really good for this Baron now. And he gets a tower. But as soon as we group, as soon as he stops doing that and we group, we're fighting first of all, we're at a disadvantage because we are fighting a 4v5 here. We are fighting a 4v5 and we just completely waste it when we can do so much more. There should be 2 people mid, or at least 3 people mid, 1 person bot, 1 person top. And we could even change it to 3 people mid, 2 people bot, or 3 people mid, 2 people bot, or 2 people mid, 3 people top. You know, we can do different variations, but it's just like we just want more waves being pushed in. Also, I want to talk about why this Kha'Zix push also didn't work, and it was what I was getting to the point before. Is because we're not lining up our waves together in like a push. You can see how this wave is already crashed into their tower, and this wave is not. So now we're just like flipping a coin here. And Kha'Zix doesn't get anything for free. Because if we die here, we just lose everything. We don't get this tower, we don't get this tower, and we just all die. But if we match the wave, so if you guys back off and did actually the next wave, it would have been better. But that's like more of a team thing. But I feel like just telling you might help you in the future. You might need it. It's a good thing to know.
That does make sense, yeah.
Alright, cool. Let's talk about some of these wards that you're doing, and I'm gonna show you a moment where our wards are just failing us, and we're not doing the best that we can do to help our team. You're gonna see that you just warded the top side and the bot side of the jungle up here and there, and then that's all you do. You're going to see how this wards don't really help you at all. It only helps the person in the mid lane, and it doesn't help your team at all. And you can see that both your teams got collapsed, and they had no vision to warn them about that. You have these 2 wards. Mundo is about to get collapsed, and the Kai'Sa is about to kill Jhin as well. Both of these people are about to get collapsed on, and our wards did nothing to help that. So at this moment in time, you had downtime. You have downtime here. You're just waiting for this wave to push in. We have downtime. This is where, and we're going to even go back further, this is where we can either follow our Jhin, So this is like how I was talking about before, where we can follow wherever our carry is or whoever we want into our jungle, because they can still support us. Like we can walk this way while he walks this way, like in a safer route. But this is better because we can get this ward. We can maybe not get down here, but this is a really good ward because it tells us if the enemy is in our jungle. That's why this ward is so good. These two wards are really good because it tells us if they are in our jungle. But we're probably not going to get this one. We can at least get this one. And then you can see how these wards support Jhin and knowing where he can be and how safe he needs to play. Rather than this ward just telling us if people are near mid. But we can also do it on the other side, because this Mundo also walks up in the top side. And we can choose which way we want to go with this. It's just we need to walk with our team. Mundo is going to be taking this route towards the top side, and we can follow him and maybe get this ward down, or maybe even walk further and maybe get this ward down. And just having wards to support our team, and then we can either A, help him with a fight if a fight breaks out, or B, go back mid and take out this wave that's pushing in mid. And that's the same thing on the other side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So in this case, I will walk with Jhin, not because he's vulnerable, but because Mundo was not really doing much this game, in my opinion. So I walk, I ward, and then I come back for mid wave, or should I just stay put with Jhin?
You have, that's all dependent on the options that you have and what is happening in your jungle. If there's 5 people in your jungle while you're warding, this is an automatic back off, and then maybe just go mid, because they're just going to take this tower, and someone needs to defend this, but you can still go back mid, and like, that's the thing. It all just depends on what's happening. If there's no one up here, we want to play to our strong side, because now that this is warded, we have a strong side, and this is our weak side, because we have no vision. Does that make sense?
If we like open the vision and see where they are, like, what would have been the play? Like, if I had gotten those wards.
Oh, if you have gotten those wards, the two plays were either stay with the Jhin and someone else takes mid CS, and maybe help him with him getting dived, or B, just going back mid. Because now that he has vision, he should know that he's about to get collapsed on, right? So it's like, if he's not stupid,
just back off.
Yeah, if he's not stupid, he should back off. But you can see how these wars are just failing you. They're not doing anything for your team, and we can get better ones, you know? We can just keep going and get better ones. Whatever to help our team out. And I also want to talk to, like, a trick that most people do when understanding how we want to ward and how it kind of controls us on what our team is supposed to do. Every jungle has its own quadrant, you know? These are the quadrants of the jungle. And whatever quadrant we ward is generally our strong side, because we have vision. We know what we can do in this quadrant because we know where they are. But this is our weak side because we have no idea if people are here, and whoever is down here needs to play extra safe. So that means we can play more aggressively on this side, because we know where they are, and we know how we can make a play off of them because of it. And that's with anything. This is like getting one quadrant is usually what you want in every single game. At least ward one quadrant. It doesn't matter if it's their quadrants or yours. Their quadrants is better because obviously that can help you push in and also get some picks. But your quadrants, at least getting one quadrant warded is already like 100 times better than just these two wards, because it gives us that strong side and weak side vibe where this player can play more aggressively and we can play around this vision, while this player needs to back off and not get collapsed on. What I kind of want you to work on mostly is doing this quadrant thing, you know? Try to get at least one quadrant semi-warded so we know we can play around that quadrant. And also following our teammates when we do this type of warding, when we have downtime. Try to get better pinks if you can. The pinks that you said are perfectly fine, but if you could ever get the option to get this pink, I'd say this is like 100 times better.
And Mom, I'm on YouTube.
What's that?
Mom, I'm on YouTube.
Mom, what?
My mom. I'm talking to my mom because I'm on the internet.
Oh, okay, I got you.